Hello, everyone. This is Willie Rodriguez, and today's topic is: Did Jesus pay taxes? A lot of preachers say that they are truth preachers and yet walk not as they should. It's not what you say, it's what you do. John 3:21. But he that doeth truth cometh to the light, that his deeds may be made manifest, that they are wrought in God. Romans 2:13. For not the hearers of the law are just before God, but the doers of the law shall be justified. James 1:22. But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. The title of this study says it all. Many preachers teach on the tithe, offerings, building funds, missionary funds, and yet most of them, if not all of them, are tax exempt, using 501c3 as their excuse to run a business. So if Jesus was our example, and if we're to be like Jesus, and if he is our pastor, then why are the so-called pastors of truth not paying taxes? Did Jesus say anything about taxes? Matthew 22:15. Then went the Pharisees and took counsel how they might entangle him in his talk. Verse 16. And they sent unto him their disciples with the Herodians, which supported Roman rule, saying, Master, didaskalos, the leader, the educator, and teacher who instructs his followers, his disciples, we know that thou art true and teachest, didasko from dio, meaning to learn, the way of God in truth, neither carest thou for any person, for thou regardest not the person of men. Tell us therefore, what thinkest thou? Is it lawful to give? Didomi, a common word to give? Is it lawful to give tribute unto Caesar or not? Tribute is the New Testament Greek word kensos. It is our word census. It was a census or poll tax paid with a Roman coin on which appeared Caesar's image, which was objectionable to the Jews. It was a registration for the purpose of the appraisement of property, like in Luke 2:2 and Acts 5:37. But Jesus perceived. The word is gnosko. He didn't perceive, he didn't iddo. He knew. That's what gnosko means. But Jesus knew their wickedness and said, Why tempt ye me, ye hypocrites? Show me the tribute, show me the kensos, money, nomisma, anything sanctioned by current or established usage or custom. It actually says the legal money of the tax. The Roman denarius, a coin accepted for legal exchange by these Jews, bore the image and an inscription of Tiberius Caesar. This underscored the propriety of returning it to him through the tax to pay for the benefits which the Roman government provided. And they brought unto him a penny, a denarion, a Greek transliteration of the Latin denarius, a silver coin minted by the Romans. Gradually, by the time of Diocletian, the Roman denarius replaced the Greek drachma. Diocletian actually reintroduced the denarius as an equivalent to the drachma. Its value is relative. It equaled approximately one day's wage during the New Testament period. And he saith unto them, Whose is this image and superscription? They say unto him, Caesar's. Then saith he unto them, Render, apodidomi, totally give therefore unto Caesar the things which are Caesar's, and unto God the things that are God's. Jesus told the Jewish rulers of that day and time, you have to totally pay taxes to the rulers of this Babylonian system. They didn't have 501c3 back then to excuse themselves. What is 501c3? It refers to an organization that has applied for and obtained tax-exempt status from the IRS. To qualify for Section 501c3 status, the organization must be formed for charitable, religious, educational, scientific, or literary purposes for testing related to public safety, to foster national or international amateur sports competition, or for the prevention of cruelty to children or animals. An organization with 501c3 status does not pay income taxes related to its non-profit purposes, can receive tax-deductible contributions from donors or church members, and is eligible for private foundation grants. 501c3 organizations are highly regulated entities. What are the regulations? Strict rules apply to both the activities and the governance of these organizations. No part of the activities or the net earnings can unfairly benefit any director, officer, or any private individual, and no officer or private individual can share in the distribution of any of the corporate assets in the event the organization shuts down. Further, lobbying, propaganda, or other legislative activity must be kept relatively insubstantial. There is no getting involved with politics at any level. One of the most common ways for a 501c3 organization to lose its tax-exempt status is to endorse a political candidate or come out against a specific candidate. This ban on endorsements applies to all levels of government. A 501c3 organization cannot endorse a presidential candidate or someone for the local school board. They are supposed to be completely neutral. Jim Brown says not to vote for any political candidate. That is in complete violation of this contract. But many will oppose this and make up dumb excuses or say such things as, well, I struggle with 501c3, as told to me by Jim Brown of Grace and Truth Ministries. One time after someone from Facebook asked me if Jim Brown was 501c3. Aside from telling me he was struggling with it, he failed to mention that the 501c3 established under Grace and Truth was reinstated from his daddy's Heritage Baptist Church. If you don't believe me, you can look it up in the link below, as all this is public information. He not only has a 501c3 status, but also has laid upon another man's foundation, his daddy's foundation. You preach to separate from those that don't believe God, and yet you hold on to your daddy's 501c3. Why? That is like separating from Christ Mass, but I'll take the Christmas bonus, thank you. So let's get back to another incident where Jesus gives us more information about taxes. Matthew 17:24. And when they were come to Capernaum, they that received tribute, the drachmon, drachmon is a silver coin, and d means two. This was the sum required from each person annually as a temple tax. It was nearly equivalent to half a shekel among the Jews. And he says, they received tribute money, came to Peter, and said, doth not your master, your didaskalos, pay tribute, the drachmon? He saith, yes. And when he was come into the house, Jesus anticipated him, saying, what thinkest thou, Simon? Of whom do the kings of the earth take custom, take telos, means tax, or tribute, kensos, of their own children, or of strangers? Peter saith unto him, of strangers. Jesus saith unto him, then are the children free. That's the opposite of being a slave. Notwithstanding, lest we should offend, lest we should scandalizo, meaning to cause to stumble, a stumbling block. We get the word scandal, meaning an action or event regarded as morally or legally wrong and causing general public outrage. Unless we should offend them, go thou to the sea, and cast an hook, and take up the fish that first cometh up. And when thou hast opened his mouth, thou shalt find a piece of money, a stater. It means a weight. It denotes money or a standard coin. It was a silver coin worth about 4 drachmas. That take and give unto them for me and thee, Peter. So did Jesus pay taxes even though he was a pastor, a shepherd, a preacher, a teacher? Of course he did. Is Jesus our example? Are we to be like him? Are pastors to pay taxes so well? Should they hide behind the pulpit and excuse themselves by being under Babylon's 501c3? I thought there was a separation of church and state. What is so separate about that? What kind of excuses can one make? Well, if the government gives us benefits, we should take it, right? Nonsense. Foolishness. That is just a cop-out. Jesus said this applies to all. Stop fooling yourselves and the sheep. Why be involved in this contract if you are not complying with it? You are bringing reproach upon the name of the Lord by lying. If you don't pay taxes, you are causing others to stumble, scandalon. We are to abstain from all appearances of evil that can bring reproach unto God. And taking the Lord's name in vain falls into this category. There is no difference. It's not what you say behind the pulpit. It's what you do that matters in the eyes of the world, in the eyes of the church, and in the eyes of God. Some will say, well, I don't care what people think. I don't have to pay taxes. That is the wrong attitude to have. Whether you're a believer or not, whether you're a pastor or a member of an organization under 501c3, you can hide behind Babylon all you want, but you can't hide from God. Thank you for listening.